millions upon hundreds of millions of Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom Israelites' blood has been shed in this land. This is the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. What's the lies? Let's name some of these lies. Who you are, that you're the Jews, that you're God's chosen people. Also, you're lying who the true chosen people are. Also, you lied to get this land. You raped and you robbed to get this land, and then you put in your educational books that you lying to how you attain the land. Then you're trying to lie and take slavery out of the history books. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and the jumping chariots, excuse me, that represents your modern day cars, what you see going around in the background. Your cars, your trucks, your motorcycles. That's what that's talking about. Those are those rattling wheels. This is what Nahum seen it, and this is what he described it as. Because Nahum seen what's going on in these times. This is what he saw. It says, the horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear. What is that? This is what that is. This is the missiles, is what Nahum saw. He seen the missiles look like a spear to him. See, this is the sword right here. Looks like a spear to him. It's shaped like the ancient biblical swords. And you see that fire at the back coming out of it? That is what he described as glittering. That looked like glitter to him. The sparks from the back of the missiles, which he described as a sword, looked like a glitter to him. It says, the horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great multitude of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpse. So what Nahum is describing is when the missiles hit, because 200 million missiles is going to hit the shores of America, and the land of America is going to be destroyed, uninhabitable. So what Nahum is describing is these swords, this glittering sword coming from one part of the land to another part of the land. That's why he says the horsemen lifted up the bright sword and the bright sword and glittering spear. He's seeing one land of people shooting a missile across to another land of people, and it looks like a sword going through the sky. And when it hits, boom! He saw that how much death it came from the impact of a missile hitting all the people. He's saying there was no ends of the corpse because one missile killed thousands of people. You know, and there's 200 million of them hitting. They're going to be annihilating people. It's going to be people that's dying, falling over people that's already dead. They're going to be, I get to the next scripture in a minute. It says, in the great number of carcasses, and there is none end of the corpses, and they stumble upon their corpses because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, which is America. America's the well-favored harlot. It's spoken of in Revelation. The harlot that okay, so this is the beast that's spoken of in Revelation, and that harlot right there is America. That blonde woman, that with the golden cup in her hand, full of blasphemies. That's America. And the beast is NATO, and the EU. It says, because of the multitudes of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mysteries of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. And that's exactly what America does. You have all these other nations that are in bed with you. They're your allies that's going to become your enemies eventually, and they're going to help shoot those missiles on you. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirt upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. So all your democracy, all your witchcraft, all your lies, all your deception and your deceit, that's that skirt coming up to above your head. And then the nation's gonna see how filthy your box is, how uncover your nakedness. See, there's nothing worse than using this is an analogy, but using it like as someone who we live in what goes on today. No one wants a nasty woman. No one wants to lift up a chick's skirt and the odor hit you from her box being unclean and how nasty and dirty she is, and it just hits you. And it's funky. Nobody wants that kind of woman. That woman, that's the woman who's full of what? Of nasty and trashy. No, ain't nobody touching that. So what? So the Most High lifting up America's skirt of that harlot skirt, showing her, all her nastiness, which is he's using the men of the Lord to show you that and tell you that. Now you seeing it. Now you seeing, all the stuff that, like, even right now, what happened with George Floyd and all the atrocities that's happening to the Southern Kingdom, they killing and all the social, racial injustice that's going on with the police brutality is happening here in America. We're not getting reports of other lands in the UK and out there. There's plenty of Jakes out there. They're not doing that out there. There's no reports. We haven't seen reports of unarmed Israelites or men of color, so-called men of color, getting shot down by a UK officer, or in London, in anywhere in the UK, anywhere in Europe, or in any other countries as well. All the country, Poland, Irish, Wales, all these other countries where a lot of Edomites are at, where there's some Jake out there, you don't see, that's not being reported. It's not hitting the internet. Those people out in these other countries are protesting in favor of the so-called Black Lives Matter movement, which Esau is behind. Or Jake is just following in line. It's the strings, man, how deep the rabbit hole goes, man. Jake don't know, but Jake goes out and push this stuff, but Jake don't even know they feel what they're pushing the Black Lives Matter movement is about. They don't know why the Black Lives Matter was started and what's the outcome, or what was the agenda for it, the objectives for it. But the point, back to the point though, these other nations are out there in support of what's going on to Jake's. But it's happening under who? Up under the skirt of the so-called harlot, of the well-favored harlot, of witchcraft. So the next scripture I want to go into is Zephaniah. Salaki. That's not what I wanted. This is Zechariah 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So this is an extension of what Nahum saw. Nahum saw the missiles come from one land to the other land and hit, and boom, blew up, and all these corpses were being there was no end to the. They were tripping, when Nahum said they were tripping over, no end of the carcasses, and right now Zechariah is showing you the bodies burning. He's showing you what these missiles is doing to the people. Their flesh is being consumed. Their eyes, like you see the vision. I don't have a sign, but the vision of what took place in Terminator. What the vision that Sarah Connor saw, and it holding on to the fence, and whoosh, the wind, the destroying wind, which I'll get that in a second, came through and ripped the flesh clear off the bones, the skin, and the flesh was burnt clear off the bones. This is Malachi 4:1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all they that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, Yahushai. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread up down the wicked. They shall, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, said the Lord of hosts." So that time is coming where the hopeful elect is going to be delivered, and they're going to come down and tread upon the wicked, taking you elites clear out the power, clear out of the power seat. You're done. Your throne is about to, you're about to vacate your throne by force. You're going to be taken down. Matter of fact, this is Daniel. This is Daniel 7 and the 7:18. It says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." So, like I said, you're gonna vacate the kingdom seat that you have. Your kingdom is coming down, and you're gonna be it's gonna be taken out of you from force. By who? Let's get that. By his people. But we got a particular scripture because it's starting now, man. You got Jace out there. There's even a lot of Edomites, and some of them Edomites are Israelite foreigners too. Let's not negate that. This is Ezekiel. Ezekiel 25, and bear with me for a minute. I'm just going to read. We're going to start at verse 8, and we're going to read on down. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power, because that Moab and Seir do say boldly, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathens. Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from his cities, which are on his frontiers, the glory of the country, Beth Jeshemoth, Baalimion, and Kerethaim, unto the men of the east with the Ammonites, and will give them in possession, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations. And I will execute judgment upon Moab, and they shall know that I am the Lord." These things is taking place. Now we're going to get into Edom though. Verse 12, "Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom had dwelt against the house of Judah and taken vengeance, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off the beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger." So we're not angry enough. When this happens, the Most High is going to use his people Israel, beginning with the elect of Israel and our Lord Yahushai, and it's starting now. It's ultimately when Yahushua comes, that's it, done deal. It's a wrap. But it's starting now. You got Israelites that are out there that's rebelling. You got Jakes that's out there that's had enough, and they're coming to Esau's front door, and they coming banging. Now Esau gonna whoop some ass. You best believe that. The time of Jacob's trouble is right there. We right upon that. But ultimately, the Most High is going to put the anger on his people, and they're going to bring judgment on you, Esau. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord power. So the Most High has got his fury set aside. He got his vengeance set aside. He got his anger set aside just to supply it with his people. So his people could go out and what? Execute the vengeance of the Most High. Then you shall know. When you see the Israelites are tearing that ass up, and you're going to know that's the vengeance of the Lord. The Lord has set that upon his people to go out and carry that out. So the next scripture, we're going to Joel, man. Actually, no, I'm going to hold that, and we're going to back into Zechariah. So the Most High got his people, like you got riffraff going on now, especially in some of the Southern Kingdom that's going on out there in Chicago. Y'all bugging. You Northern Kingdom, y'all bugging it out there. But as a whole, Northern and Southern Kingdom is going to unite and form like Voltron. For those of you who know what Voltron is, if you don't know, Google it. This is Zechariah 9 and 12. It says, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. Who is the thee? Esau and you other nations. It says, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bowl with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons of Zion against thy sons of Greece. So the Most High is basically showing you a metaphor for how he's going to use his people as a weapon, right? The weapon is Ephraim represents the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Latinos and Hispanics. Their line goes back to the nation of Israel. You're God's chosen people. You represent the Northern Kingdom, which the head of your tribe is Ephraim. So that's why the Northern Kingdom is represented as Ephraim. You're going to be the bow. But Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which represents the Southern Kingdom, you're going to be the arrow. And altogether, the Most High is going to bend you and let you go. And that's going to be his weapon that he's going to use against Esau. That's the weapon, the high-powered weapon that the Most High is using his people, which we just read in Ezekiel. He's going to use his people as a weapon to strike down you Edomites. And how you know that? O sons of Greece. The sons of Greece, who are the Greeks? The Greeks are you Edomites. Represents what? The tribe, Salakia, represents the house of Edom, Esau. It says, and made thee as the sword of thy mighty man, of a mighty man, and the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrows shall go forth as a lightning, and the Lord power shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with the whirlwind of the south, and the Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar, and the Lord their power shall save them in that day as the flock of his people, for they shall be as a stone of a crown, like lifted up as an ensign upon the land. And this is we at the beginning stages of this, man. When you see Jake is just got enough, and they just going out there and they protesting, and they're protesting and turning violence. Yeah, we see what's happening, but it's gonna come a time, man, where these Edomites is gonna attempt to do what they did to George Floyd. Because if we was directly in that time, and the Most High had riled Jacob to that point, when that situation went down with George Floyd, it wouldn't have been no recording. You know, I mean, it would have been some recording. No, let's take that back. It's gonna be televised. There would have been some people recording, but they wouldn't have recorded that event. They wouldn't have recorded George Floyd's death. They would have recorded the attempting of his death and of those 4 officers, and 50, 60, maybe even 100 Jakes would have mauled them. See, that's the time we're coming into. We're coming into a time where the Most High, right now, he's rattling the cage of that lion. You know what I'm saying? The lion's over in the corner sitting down, and then you got a person that just rattles the cage and aggravates and antagonizes and mess with the lion, to the lion's getting over this, getting pissed off more and more, till the lion just comes and he just forces and just kicks down the door and mauls that person who was agitating him, who was irritating him, and who was antagonizing him. That's what was going on right now with the Southern Kingdom, man. The scriptures, man. I'm gonna just get it real quick. It's part of one of the major prophecies that was given to the 12 tribes, to the original members of the 12. All right, this is Genesis. This is Genesis 49:8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. And that's what you got. You've always had that. You've always had social injustices, and then you had certain Judites will rise up against that. They will. We can go back. Let's go back to the last couple situations. You got currently what's going on for George Floyd, you know, and not just George Floyd, but Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, and you know, and all the people who've been killed, Mike Brown and Eric Gardner and Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martin. You can go on and on. You're getting the point. But all that is leading up to that's enough with the George Floyd situation. But before that, it was the Rodney King riots in '92. Then you had the '65 riots, the Watts riots. You had the Black Panthers. You know, you had different times where Jake has come and become a nuisance. No other nation has done that. No other nation has been a thorn in Esau's side, standing up against him. It's always been a Southern Kingdom. It's been Judah. It says, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? And that's the point. Like I was giving you the analogy of a lion that's like an old lion sitting in the cage. That's, you know, that old mighty lion that's sitting in that cage is just, you know, relaxing. You know, just letting everything going on. But yet he's seeing all the, you know, all the shit that's going on. The lion tamer is doing, which is Esau. And he's getting roused up. So the next scripture I want to go in, and I'm going to end it on that. I'm going to go in on all right, this is Obadiah, and I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness of the house of Jacob, shall possess their possessions. We already read about how it was in Numbers that talks about Edom being a possession. You're going to be a possession of the Israelites. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. Remember, the house of Joseph represents what? Joseph represents the northern kingdom, right? Because Joseph was Ephraim's father, and Ephraim became the head of the northern kingdom, right? So Jude and Jacob, it's talking about Jacob being the southern kingdom, being all the nation of Israel together. We just read that in Ezekiel's, Zechariah, the 9th chapter, saying that the Most High is going to use them as a weapon, as a bow and an arrow. But this is continuing on after Esau's taken down, and he's been through slavery for 1,000 years under that same weapon, which is the nation of Israel, northern and southern kingdom. It says, and then they're gonna be a fire, and Esau's gonna be stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So with that, I'm gonna bring this lesson to a close. We almost out of here, man. All the prophecies are happening. Esau, there's nothing you could do about it. There's no more lies that you can put out there. No more, witchcraft or trickery or misleading. You do what you do. Just know that it's over. There's really not much you could do. So you best bring everything you can. You might as well do it all. So you can try to extend in your mind your kingdom, but it's not gonna have any extensions. It's gonna get cut off, and that's it, man. You're going down, and you're gonna be going into slavery, and you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be burnt up, and there'll be no more remaining of you. So with that, I want to say, God allow Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, all praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and lead our nation, and peace and salutations to the whole full elect. Shalom.